Welcome to the CondoVultures.com podcast with your host, Peter Zalewski, a Miami real estate broker, Wall Street consultant, and expert witness. This podcast is focused on identifying real estate buying opportunities in the South Florida condo market of Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. The CondoVultures.com podcast is not authorized by the South Florida real estate industry and will most likely annoy many of the region's talking heads. This podcast will feature straight talk and salty language that could be offensive to some. Please remember that past investment success does not determine future gains, especially in South Florida's volatile condo market. For more information, please visit CondoVultures.com.
Welcome to Miami Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Zalewski of Condo Vultures. Condo Vultures is a real estate brokerage as well as a consulting firm. So if you're looking for data or you're looking for someone to represent you when you go out and try to purchase property, maybe somebody with our organization can help you out. So if you're turning into this podcast, you're here for the condo market analysis. It's a weekly analysis that we do, taking a look at one of the various markets located in the Tri-County, South Florida region of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. For this particular podcast, we're going to focus on the county of Palm Beach. It is in Northern County in the three-county region. Some of the cities located in Palm Beach County are going to be Boca Raton, Delray Beach, West Palm Beach, the island of Palm Beach, as well as Jupiter up to the north. Now, we will dedicate a segment to condos. We will dedicate another segment to luxury condos. We'll dedicate another segment to distressed condos. And then finally, we'll do a segment on the rental market. Couple of rules of engagement. Rule number one, all the data we're going to be referring to is all coming from the multiple listing service. Multiple listing service is a database that is used by members of the club, which is called the Realtor Association. Become a member of the club, you get a real estate license, then you pay your $1,000 a year. And for that $1,000 a year membership, you get a variety of different things. But the primary driver is access to this multiple listing service where you can list properties for sale or you can go ahead and use the database to find properties maybe for some customer you're representing. Common denominator in anything that's listed in the multiple listing service is that a commission has to be offered. Much like if you are a golfer or you are a sailor. Golfer goes, joins a country club, therefore they have access to the greens, and a sailor goes and joins a sailing club, and therefore they have access to the marina. Same type of concept. So anything we're referring to is going to be the multiple listing service. The data we're using in terms of closed sales, that's all going to be for the year 2022. That'll be January through December of 2022. The active numbers are going to be right now in 2023. Another point to keep in mind is that the multiple listing service doesn't represent all properties. It's only going to represent those properties in which a commission is being offered. And a professional, i.e. a realtor, is representing either a buyer / tenant or a landlord / seller. So it's not going to include properties such as shadow inventory, such as we buy ugly houses, for sales by owner, or landlords that could own hundreds of units and are trying to run them out and simply don't want to pay the commission. Another thing to keep in mind is, do you have any comments for us or any questions? Feel free to send an email to inquiry@condovultures.com, INQUIRY@condovultures.com. And if you are listening to this podcast on a traditional platform such as Apple, such as Google, such as Spotify, you should know that we're also making available a video component of this. And you can see this podcast anywhere where video is permissible, such as Spotify, or you can go to YouTube where our handle is Condo Vultures TV, Condo Vultures TV. Now, I'll be talking about data that's located within charts. I'm going to go ahead and superimpose that into this particular podcast. But if you're listening to us from an audio perspective, what you can do is go into the description of the podcast, and I will provide links for all of the various charts that pertain to what I'm discussing. So that being said, let's go ahead. We'll take our first commercial break. The other side break, we're going to talk about the condo market in Palm Beach.
It's a simple formula, and it works. Buy low, sell high. We're Condo Vultures, and when it comes to your real estate, we help you buy low. At Condo Vultures, we represent the buyer, and now's the time to buy. Log on to CondoVultures.com for more information. CondoVultures.com. And remember, before you sell high, you have to buy low. Featured in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, 60 Minutes, and Time Magazine. Condo Vultures Realty, a licensed Florida real estate brokerage capitalizing on the condo correction since 2006.
Welcome back to the Miami Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Zalewski of Condo Vultures. We're going to be talking about condos now in Palm Beach County. We'll be talking about old condos. We'll be talking about new condos. Any and all condos located in Palm Beach County are going to basically be combined with the statistics I'm going to be referring to. 3,100 condos are currently actively on the market today, 3,100 condos in Palm Beach County. The average asking price, $784,565 a door on average, $784,565 per door. A lot of people tend to get caught up on how much did you pay for a unit? What was the price? That's really the wrong way to look at condominiums. It's a perfect way to look at a house, but it's a wrong way to look at a condominium. And why is that? Well, a house is a work of art. Every and all aspects of a house is going to be unique. And for instance, if you're in a gated community, where is that property located? What is the shape of the lot? How many stories is the house? What are the materials used? What kind of roof does it have? What kind of trees does it have? Is the property located near a school, near a park? Is it far removed? Is there an issue with the sewers, the curbs, things like that? Versus the condominium, which is more of a commodity, most units are going to be the same within a particular line. For instance, a 0-1 line, the layouts will all be the same throughout the building with some exceptions. Maybe when you get up high in the penthouses where the ceilings might be taller. But generally speaking, the layouts are going to be the same. The 0-2 line, all the units will have the same type of layout. The 0-3 line, all units have the same type of layout. So when you talk about condos, I want you to consider it like a commodity. When you talk about single family houses, I want you to think about it as if it is a work of art and it's unique. So when people tell you about condos and they talk about what did you pay for that particular unit, I want you to discount that, throw it out, and ask more importantly, what is it priced per square foot? Because that's really what we're after. You want to know what that commodity is trading for. Now, maybe some people will say, well, listen, I spent all this money, I over improved my place, I'm going to get all that money back when I turn around and try to sell it. The reality is, based on my experience looking at the particular market, sometimes you break even on some of the improvements and the over improvements you make, but generally speaking, it's going to depend on timing, where we are in a particular cycle. So don't be surprised if you as a buyer coming in, you might actually get all these free upgrades that you don't actually have to pay for because of market conditions. So the big mistake a lot of people make with a condo is that they over improve it, not realizing it is a commodity versus a single family house, which is more of a work of art. So that being said, let's focus on price per square foot for the condos in Palm Beach County. The average asking price right now in Palm Beach County, $445 a square foot, $445 a square foot. And then finally, the condos that are for sale in Palm Beach County, they've been on the market 74 days in county, 74 days in county. Keeping in mind that typically once a place goes under contract, which is the second phase of the transaction, it's going to take between 30 and 60 days to close. So we got the listing when it's made available for sale. We then had the pending sale, which typically takes 30 to 60 days. And then finally, we have the transaction. So right now, the first phase of the deal has been 74 days on average for all those condos that are available in Palm Beach County today. Now, the pending sales, which is phase two, nearly 840 condos are pending in Palm Beach County, 840. The average asking price for these pending sales, just about $1.1 million a door, $1.1 million a door. But again, condos, so think commodity, think price per square foot. The average price for these condos that were listed and now are under contract, $521 a foot, $521 a foot. And how many days have they been on the market and under contract combined? An average of 64 days. Now, in 2022, this will be January through December, there were just about 10,780 condos that traded, 10,780 condos traded. The average price per door, $433,150 a door, 433,150 rounded. And then price per square foot, $299 a foot, $299 a foot. And it took a grand total of 30 days to trade one of these condos in 2022 in Palm Beach County. Now, that leads us to a very interesting, I say telltale sign or an indicator of what's going on in the market. And what is that? That's days on market. Days on market will lay out what is the sentiment of the buyer and what is the sentiment of the seller. Typically, if you compare how long it took in whatever period you're looking back to versus what you have today, that'll give you an idea. Are the buyers lining up? Are they willing to take stuff down? And if they're not, why aren't they willing to do it? A lot of times it has to do with pricing. So looking at days on market in Palm Beach County right now, well, 74 days is how long the average number of days is for those condos that are for sale. But in 2022, it took only 30 days. So right now, it's 2 times longer in order to list a property. And these units that are listed, they're not even under contract, which is going to add another 30, 60 days to close. 74 days, how long they've been on the market versus those that closed in 2022, close in 30 days, 30 days. So you can see there's a disconnect that's occurring between the buyers and the sellers. A lot of times when you see that disconnect, it has to do with pricing. So what is the pricing? The difference right now in the average asking price versus the average transaction price? We're looking at about an 81% spread on a price per door basis, 81% spread. What should it be? It should be about 20%. And what should the unit trade for? About 10%. So real easy way to do it is think about what the average transaction price is for a building or a neighborhood, and then put on a spread in order for some seller to consider unloading it. They're going to get a little bit of premium. That's going to be their incentive to get out. And typically, whatever the premium that's put on there, a lot of people are going to try to negotiate it down. It's just part of the process. So if 20% on top of the average transaction price is the premium or the spread, basically you negotiate that down by, let's call it half, which would be 10%. And that's typically when you get your deal done. But anything that's more than 20%, you probably don't want to waste your time on, because that seller thinks that they have like gold and they're not going to negotiate down. And therefore, why submit offers? Why go take a look? Because chances are the person's not actually going to transact. You're just going to be wasting your time unless market conditions change. So when I look at Palm Beach County condos, I'm seeing an 81% spread over the average transaction price. I get 784, 565 is what the average ask is, versus those that traded. They traded for $433,145 a door. 81% says it is a market or an area not to even go near. Sellers want way too much. Now, what about on a price per square foot basis? Because again, that pertains more so to condos. The average ask is $445 a foot. Well, the average transaction price is $299 a foot. That's about a 49% spread. Again, way too high. Therefore, many buyers are probably sitting on the sidelines, factoring in all the other issues that are going on with the economy, with inflation, with interest rates, with a potential banking crisis. And they're probably saying, okay, let me sit on the sidelines. And as a result, I would argue that's why the days on the market is going up. And days on the market, again, is a great indicator of sentiment. Now, how many condos traded in Palm Beach County in 2022? You had just under 900 condos a month. 900 condos a month. How did I come up with that? Well, I took the total number of sales, which was 10,800 rounded, divided by 12. That's where I came up with my roughly 900 units trading per month. Now, the 900 units trading per month is interesting because I want to figure out how many months of supply at that sales pace. How much is actually out there? So if I take the 900, I divide what's currently in the market, which is just over 3,100 condos currently listed for sale. I'm going to come up with 3.5 months of supply, 3.5 months of supply. Equilibrium will be 6 months. So anything less than 6 months is going to be a seller's market, meaning there's not enough to choose from. And therefore, the seller should be empowered to be able to get a higher price. The problem I'm seeing, though, was when I look at the days on market. When I see that days on market, it's getting longer and longer and longer for some of these would-be sellers to actually get a contract. And we're also near the end of this winter buying season. So as the winter buying season starts to disappear, we start to get the hot and humid days, and we leave this period of festivals and gorgeous weather and everyone being in town. And we move into an area where it's pissing down rain, and you have the threat of hurricanes, and it's humid, 90 plus degrees, 90 plus humidity by 9 a.m. Tends to be a little bit different of a marketplace. So it appears as if Palm Beach County condo market is, while the numbers suggest that it's strong from a supply perspective, and ultimately it's a seller's market, the other indicators, days on market, suggest that this is a market that's probably teetering and will probably run into some sort of despair as we move deeper into 2023. We're going to take a commercial break. Other side of break, we'll get into the luxury condo market of Palm Beach County.
This is Peter Zalewski of the Condo Vultures podcast. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. And I wanted to alert you that if you have a property that you're looking to sell in the Tri-County, South Florida area, I would encourage you to reach out to Jenny Cortez, a licensed real estate broker with cvrrealty.com. She's my partner. She's been in the business for north of 15 years. More importantly, she knows the market. She knows how to get a deal done. And she also realizes that it's more important to get a price that you can accept and sell the property rather than to hold firm on some price that's never going to be achieved and ultimately languish on the market. So if you're looking to do a deal that you want a skilled expert who can help you sell a property, reach out to Jenny Cortez at 305-865-5859, 305-865-5859, or visit her website, cvrrealty.com.
Welcome back to the Miami Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Zalewski from Condo Vultures. Again, if you're listening to this podcast on a traditional platform, such as Apple, such as Google, such as Anchor, you should know you can actually watch this podcast. Simply go to any platform that provides it, such as Spotify. If you want to check us out on YouTube, go to Condo Vultures TV. That's our handle. Condo Vultures TV. So for this particular segment, we're going to focus on luxury condos in Palm Beach County. What is luxury? Luxury is a term you hear quite a bit in South Florida, whether it's luxury art at an arts festival, or it's booze at a bar, luxury brand of liquor, or condos, luxury condo in the condo market. Problem is, nobody really understands what luxury is. Nobody really has a set definition as for luxury is. And when you're trying to pull statistics, you got to make some decisions. So the decision we made is we came up with an arbitrary line or a number, and that's $1 million or 7 figures. So anything that is listed or sold for $1 million or more, we're going to call it luxurious. Anything that's sold or listed for $999,999 or less is simply standard, is simply normal. So this segment, I'm going to talk luxury. Now, some will tell you there's ultra luxury, there's mega ultra luxury, there's super mega ultra luxury mega. Yeah, whatever. We're just going to talk luxury. We're breaking up $1 million or more, or under $1 million. That's what this segment is based on. So what do we got going on in the Palm Beach County market? Just under 500 luxury condos for sale, 500 luxury condos for sale. Average asking price, $3.1 million a door, $3.1 million a door. And then most important factor, price per square foot, $1,206 a foot, $1,206 per square foot on average for a luxury condo, Palm Beach County. And those listings that are out there, 94 days in counting, 94 days in counting for luxury condos. Now let's look at pending. These are units that were listed that are now under contract. They're waiting to transact. 240 luxury condos are under contract right now. The average asking price of those condos that went pending or went under contract, $3.1 million a door, $3.1 million a door, or $1,198 a square foot, $1,198 a square foot. And how many days have they been listed as well as under contract combined? 69 days. And in 2022, January through December, there were just over 800 luxury condos that traded, 800 luxury condos traded. They traded at an average price of just under $2.3 million a door, $2.3 million a door, or $977 a square foot, $977 per square foot. And it only took 47 days. So in 2022, if you put a luxury condo on the market, you were in and out in 47 days as a seller. And again, days on market represents sentiment. It suggests, are the sellers asking too much and are the buyers lining up to take the product down? We all heard about 2022 and how buyers were coming in and they were getting the bidding wars. Open houses were put up. People were lined up, several people deep in order to check out a property. Well, what's going on in the luxury condo market for condos in Palm Beach County? Looks like we have a disconnect. It took 47 days to sell a luxury condo in 2022 in Palm Beach County. The condos listed today are on the market an average of 94 days counting. So you can see it's doubling roughly. So it's taken twice as long to sell a condo. Well, to list a condo, these aren't even under contract, than it did in 2022. That suggests a disconnect. Disconnect typically comes from a variety of different factors, whether it's outside of the particular unit or market, or it could have to do with pricing. So what do we got going on here? Well, the difference, the spread between what a average luxury condo seller is seeking today versus what they traded for in 2022, looks like it's about a 36% premium, 36% premium. And I was saying, when we're working with buyers, we typically look for something that's about 20% premium. And why is that? Because 20% or less suggests that a seller's probably looking to negotiate. They want to get out of it. If you have a seller with a huge asking price with a premium that's not necessarily justified, and again, it's a condo, so over improvements don't really count for much like they do in a single family house or a mansion or something like that. So when I see 36% premium price per door for a luxury condo in Palm Beach County, that suggests to me that it's probably not worth wasting your time going, checking it out, submitting an offer, and ultimately getting rejected. So it seems like these sellers need to, they need to rot on the vine a little bit longer before there's actually starting willing to negotiate. Now, typically when they do negotiate in a normal market, you're going to look at about a 10% premium over the average transaction price. So that, again, concept 20% or so over the average transaction price suggests this is a seller that might be willing to work. And then if you split the difference on that premium, you typically come up with about 10%. Could be 8, could be 12, somewhere in that 10% range. So that's basically a good way to check it out. So 36% premium for on average price per door for luxury condo in Palm Beach County. What is the price per square foot for luxury condos in Palm Beach County? Well, $1,206 is the average asking price. $977 is the average transaction price. That's about a 23% spread, 23% spread. So that's suggesting that these luxury condos, they're maybe pricing closer to, trying to draw in some would-be offers. So that is an encouraging sign. So even though the days on market is going up, the spread between the average asking price and the average transaction price per square foot suggests that maybe something interesting could be occurring now that we're at the tail end of the South Florida winter buying season, which will wrap up basically at the end of April. So roughly a month out from now. So in 2022, you had 67 luxury condos trading per month. That was the velocity. That was the sales base. How to come up with that? I took the total number of sales. I divided by 12, which is the 12 months of the year. That gave me an average number of sales per month. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that average number of sales, which is 67 per month in 2022. I'm going to divide it on what's currently in the market, which is just about 500 units or so. I will come up with 7.4 months of supply, 7.4 months of supply. In equilibrium is 6 months. Anything less than 6 months is a seller's market. But we're coming up with 7.4 months of supply in Palm Beach County. So that suggests that this is a buyer's market, which means the buyer has the ability to negotiate and can pit sellers against each other to ultimately try to get a better price. And given the fact that these luxury condos are commodities, now the listing brokers will tell you they're fantastic. I will tell you it's just a commodity. It's not really going to make a difference. You're probably going to go in there and buy it, and you're not going to like what's there anyways. You're going to pull it out. You're going to have to do a variety of different things. So let's just call it what it is. It's a commodity. So 7.4 months of supply is a buyer's market under the rule of thumb. However, some luxury brokers will tell you, well, I have a luxury property listed and the owner has more money than God. They don't need to sell. They're going to sell only if they get the price they want, yada, yada, yada. Many of these luxury brokers will tell you that equilibrium for luxury should be 12 months, could be as much as 18 months. So I will tell you, if you go by the traditional rule of thumb, which is 6 months as equilibrium, then we are in a buyer's market. If you go by some of the hybrid types of supply numbers of 12 months being equilibrium or 18 months being equilibrium. So for that alternative approach, this would be a seller's market for luxury condos. But I'm in the camp of this being a buyer's market for luxury condos based on 6 months of equilibrium. We're going to take a commercial break. Other side of the break, we will get into the distress market in Palm Beach County.
This is Peter Zalewski of the Condo Vultures podcast. Before I started doing these podcasts, I was in the business of being a licensed real estate broker, a contributing columnist for the Miami Herald, as well as the Miami Real Deal, but also extra witness work in consulting. So if you are looking for an expert witness, or if you're looking for consulting services, a straight talk perspective as to what's going on in a particular marketplace, a building, or what happened previously, for whatever your situation is, whether you are an attorney, whether you are a institutional fund looking to invest, or whether you're a lender who's trying to come up with some sort of strategy and approach for your lending committee going forward, I just might be able to help you. To get a hold of me, please reach out to Peter@condovultures.com. That's Peter@condovultures.com, or give me a call to the office at 305-865-5859, 305-865-5859.
Welcome back to the Miami Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Zalewski of Condo Vultures. For this segment of our podcast, we're going to talk about distressed condos that are listed on the MLS. Remember, MLS is a database used by realtors. It does not include off-market type of properties, which basically are properties that are transacted without a realtor involved, and therefore it's not in the multiple listing service. So what do we got going on? And first of all, what are distressed condos? And then what do we have going on statistically? So there are two categories of distress, generally speaking. You're going to have your preemptive approach, which will be the seller/borrower trying to unload a property because they know what's coming down the pike is not going to be good, and they're trying to avoid foreclosure. They're trying to avoid dinging their credit, and basically they want to work in good faith to try to make the bank as whole as possible and get themselves out of a situation for whatever reason. Maybe their lifestyle changed. Maybe there was a job change. Maybe there was a health change. Maybe, they simply paid too much. Maybe they regretted it, whatever the case might be. So that would be the preemptive approach, would be called a short sale. A short sale basically is the bank's going to come up short of getting paid what it's owed, or the seller is going to come up short of repaying what the loan is. Now, why would a bank accept less than than they're owed? Well, the reason a bank would do that is when a property goes through a foreclosure, and you need to check with your attorney to get all the particulars. But generally speaking, based on what I've seen being in South Florida and Miami and being around real estate for 30 years or so, what you see is typically a short sale is a situation where you're able to avoid a lot of the nastiness that comes with a foreclosure. Now, what could that nastiness be? Well, If you're the lender, chances are you're not going to pay your mortgage payments for 9 to 12 months, which is typically how long it takes to do a foreclosure down here. Could take longer depending on how the property's held, whether it's a homestead, which is a special privilege that's given to people who have a primary residence in Florida. The other reason that a bank would accept to do a short sale is maybe they want to avoid some of the damage that goes on. During the Great Recession, there were people who had properties, they had mortgages on them, they knew they were losing them. So what do? They stripped the properties clean. They pulled out the cabinetry, they sold off the appliances. Maybe they damaged it. So by doing a short sale, bank's able to protect itself against any of those sort of shenanigans that ultimately could play out. Now, what's the alternative? The alternative is that someone goes through the foreclosure process. The bank has to spend legal fees. The bank is not getting paid its mortgage payments. It might be some damage, and ultimately the bank will end up with the property. They'll end up with the keys. Then the bank has to reposition the property. Sometimes they have to improve it. They have to paint it. They have to put in cabinetry. They have to put in appliances, whole variety of things before the property can ultimately be put back on the market. But when it is, it will then be referred to as a real estate owned, an REO, a bank owned or foreclosure. It's all one and the same. So there's two categories: preemptive. Let's work with the bank. We're going to come up short of repaying what the bank is owed. That's called a short sale. Or after the fact of a foreclosure, which could take 9 to 12 months, could be damaged, there could be appliances missing, could be a whole variety of things. And that's called a real estate owned, an REO, a bank owned or a foreclosure, one and the same. So generally speaking, what do we got going on in terms of distress in Palm Beach County? Looks like there's about 13 properties that are on the market, 13 properties on the market. How many are pending? We got another 19 that are pending, another 19 that are pending. And in 2022, you had 77 distressed properties transact in 2022, which is a very strong market with a lot of out-of-towners coming down to South Florida, buying here, running up numbers and really cramping that inventory. We still had 77 properties that went bad in Palm Beach County. Now that 77 that went bad, if I divide it by the 12 months of the year, I'm going to come up with a pace of about roughly 6.4 distressed condos selling per month in Palm Beach County in 2022. That's 6.4. If I divide that in what's currently on the market, which is the 13, I'm going to come up with 2 months of supply, 2 months of supply. Now, what does that suggest? That suggests it is a seller's market for distressed condos in Palm Beach County. Why? Equilibrium is 6 months. So there's only 2 months of distressed product. Should not be surprise you. Why? Because many lenders that take back property or are working with these types of distress situations, they don't want to flood the market with too much supply simply because they want to try to bolster pricing. So they will release the product slowly, and by releasing the product slowly, therefore they're able to get higher prices than they would if there was too much property on the market. A lot of investors love distressed type of property because there's an inherent belief that there's going to be equity built in, and these are ideal for fix and flip types of situation. So let's get into short sales first specifically, and then we're going to get into REO. I gave you the overview. Let's talk about what we got going on in the short sale market. Currently, there's only one for sale in Palm Beach County, a condo. That's a short sale. Its asking price is $370,000 a door, 370 a door. The average price per square foot asking $324 a foot. And that short sale's been on the market in Palm Beach County only 18 days. Now, in terms of pending, 4 pending short sales in Palm Beach County, the average ask for those pending, $179,600 a door, $179,600 a door. Price per square foot, $157 a foot. And those pending sales that are out there for short sales, 355 days on average, 355 days on average. Now, you ask yourself, how could it be 355 days? Well, what happens typically with a short sale, it's a long, drawn-out process where the bank, they don't necessarily want to move quickly on it. They're hoping market conditions will change. They'll hoping that something will work its way out, and they don't like to do it very often unless it's a situation where the market's being flooded. But because the inventory has been so tight, it seems like these lenders are probably slow walking these possible short sales out the door. So 355 days is the average. Now, how many short sales traded in Palm Beach County in 2022 in terms of condos? 6 traded. We traded for an average of $209,335 a door, $209,335 a door. Price per square foot, $155 a foot, which you can see that's a good number. $155 a square foot. That means a 1,000 square foot place is going to trade for just over $150,000. Very interesting in a market where you're hearing that people are, they're not able to afford anything that's reasonably priced. Well, here's an example where you could. How many days did it take for those short sales to trade in 2022? in Palm Beach County, 81 days on average. And again, days on market is a great judge of sentiment. It gives you a great indicator what's going on with sentiment. So in 2022, it took 81 days to sell a property. Those condos, or that one condo that is a short sale in Palm Beach County today, been on the market only 18 days. Therefore, it suggests that it's probably got a little bit of time to go before the deal ultimately works its way out. Now, let's talk about the spread between the average asking price and the average transaction price. Granted, there's only one short sale that is on the market today in Palm Beach County, so it doesn't really make up a market, but we'll give you the indicators anyways. Again, the ask for that one unit was $370,000 a door. The units that traded in 2022, they traded for $209,335 a door. That's about a 77% spread, 77% spread. Ideally, you look for about a 20% spread before you submit an offer if you don't want to waste a lot of time. Now, what is the spread on price per square foot? Look at about 109% difference, 109% difference. And how do you come up with that? Well, $324 a foot is the asking price for that short sale in Palm Beach County, the one that's for sale, where in 2022, the average transaction price was $155 a square foot. So big difference. How many short sales trade in Palm Beach County per month? Looks like less than one. How'd you come up with that? Take the 6 units that transacted, you divide it by the 12 months in a year, which is 12. That's where you come up with 0.5 short sales trading per month. If I take that 0.5, I divide it in what's currently in the market, which is 1, I'm going to come up with 2 months of supply, And again, 6 months is equilibrium. So it is clearly a seller's market in Palm Beach County for short sales. Let's venture off into the REO market. Again, REO is an acronym for real estate owned. So REO, real estate owned, same category. Some people also refer to it as bank owned and or foreclosure. This is the area that a lot of people like to play in. A little bit easier to do because the property's already gone through the court process. The bank's in control of the deed and the keys, and you can ultimately make a deal happen within a predictable timeline rather than the short sales, which could take long. And what we're seeing on the pending sales are 355 days. That's a long time to be under contract. And for a property you still don't own yet. So how many REO listings in Palm Beach County for condos out there? There's a 12. Average asking price for those 12 REO condos in Palm Beach County, $196,000 a door, 196. Price per square foot asked $181 a foot. And the REOs that are on the market, been there an average of 72 days. Pending sales, 15 REOs are pending in Palm Beach County. The average price for those pending sales, $226,400 a door, $226,400 a door. Price per square foot, $195 a foot. And they've been on the market and under contract a grand total of 57 days. 2022, there were 70 REO condos that traded in Palm Beach County, 70 REO condos. The average transaction price, $185,350 a door, $185,350. What they traded for, or $172 a square foot, $172 per square foot. And it took 39 days for an REO condo to transact in Palm Beach County in 2022. So days on market, let's take a look at it. 2022, it took 39 days to transact. Right now, 12 REOs are on the market. They're on the market for an average of 72 days in counting. So again, you're seeing a disconnect. Now, is that disconnect related to pricing? And the answer apparently is no. And why is it no? Because if I look at price per door, there's only a 6% spread between what the REO seller is asking versus the average REO transaction price. So it doesn't seem to be, at least on a price per door basis, doesn't seem to be the reason why the days on market's going up. What about the price per square foot? What's the difference there? It's only 5% as well. So these REO condos in Palm Beach County seem to be appropriately priced. Now, granted, sellers ask a little bit more than what they really want, but the plan is to go ahead and be able to negotiate as a buyer comes in. And these units seem to be priced right there in the correct price range. So this is something we're going to have to pay attention to see how it kind of plays out, because it's not making sense statistically as to why this is going on. How many REO condos trade in Palm Beach County in 2022 per month? What was the sales pace? Comes out to about 6 units trading a month, 6 units trading per month. How did I come up with that? Took the total number of transactions. I divided it by 12, which is 12 units, which is the 12 months of the year. And that's how I come up with just about 6 REOs trading per month in Palm Beach County in 2022. Now, if I take that 6, I divide what's currently in the market, which is 12, I will come up with 2 months of supply, 2 months of supply. And remember, equilibrium is 6 months. Anything greater than 6 months is going to be a buyer's market. But at 2 months, this is clearly a seller's market for REOs in Palm Beach County, which again is no surprise. because banks do not want to flood the market with product. Therefore, they will slowly release the property, try to take advantage of all the investors who are out there looking for distress, and try to prop up prices as much as possible. So we'll take a commercial break. Other side of the break, we're going to get into the rental market in Palm Beach County.
Don't buy a South Florida condo, discounted or distressed, before taking a Condo Vultures correction tour. CondoVultures.com offers weekly bus and walking tours that focus on educating buyers on the how-tos of identifying discounted condos, analyzing the opportunities, and purchasing units. Every tour attendee receives a list of all condo projects in a particular market, a market assessment handout, and unmatched expert analysis. For more information on the condo correction tours, please visit condovultures.eventbrite.com.
Welcome back to Miami Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Zalewski from Condo Vultures. We talked about condos in one segment. Then we talked about luxury condos in another segment. Then we talked about the distressed condos in a segment. Now we're going to talk about the rental market. Some of you watching this podcast or listening to this podcast are probably thinking, I don't really care about rentals. I'm not going to rent it. I bought a second home. I bought a vacation home. I live in the home. Why do I care about rentals? Well, the reason I like to throw rental statistics out there is you never know what's going to happen, what's going to change. Maybe lifestyle changes, maybe health changes, maybe your marriage situation changes, maybe your job changes. It's always good to know in the back of your mind, if I need to rent out a property, what can I get for it? The problem when you get into rentals, though, is getting your hands on good statistics. And why can't you get your hands on good statistics? Simple. Many landlords that own large concentrations of units, 100, 200, 300, 400 units, they don't want to pay a real estate commission. And we know that if the commission is not offered, a property does not go on a multiple listing service. The commission on a rental in South Florida, generally speaking, is 10%. Everything is negotiable, but it's 10% of the gross annual rent. That's typically divided by the broker who represents the landlord and the broker who's representing the tenant or the renter. And if you own 300 units, I really don't want to pay 10% of the gross annual rent in the form of a commission to two different brokers. No, what you're probably going to do is you're probably going to hire a person or two, put them in a leasing office, pay him 30, 40, 50 grand, 60 grand, let them handle it all and bypass all of these commissions. And as a result of that, we do not have the statistics for the rental market. Anybody who tells you that they have rental statistics talking about a marketplace, I will tell you that's the equivalent of licking your finger, holding it up, and trying to figure out which way the wind blows. So as a result of the data being sketchy, because again, not a lot of people want to pay the commission on a rental, especially if they own a lot, these corporate types of properties. How do you figure out if it's corporate property? Well, you'll see a for rent sign on the outside, or you'll maybe see somebody standing in front of a property, flipping a sign, trying to get you to pull over as you're driving by, go in, get some information. That's typically just a corporate owner rather than a one-off unit or two that some individual owns and they're turning around and trying to rent it. So these numbers I'm going to refer to, they're simply going to give you a ballpark as to what the MLS version is of the rental market. Another thing to sort of keep in mind when we're talking about these, the rental statistics, there's all different terms that you can, in terms of length of time, you can rent a place in South Florida. You can rent by the night, you can rent it by the week, you can rent it by the month, you can rent it by the year. And as a result of that, it makes it very complicated. So if you were going to go ahead and take a look at the statistics and try to make everything line up so it's apples to apples, you'd have to do a lot of work in doing all that work for statistics going in, which aren't necessarily that solid. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So as a result of that, we're not going to use the average, which is what we use in the previous segments. For this one, we're going to use median. What is median? It's the number right smack dab in the middle. So all the data will be median here. Another thing to keep in mind is what are we gauging or tracking for the rentals? Basically going to be anything except single family houses. Let me give you all the different categories. It will be apartments. It'll be condos. It'll be efficiencies, multifamily, and townhouses. Basically anything that's not a single family house. So what is going on in the Palm Beach County rental market? Looks like right now there's just under 2,500 rentals available, 2,500. What's the median asking price per door per month? $3,050 a month, $3,050 a month. What is the median asking price per square foot per month? $2.63, $2.63. And how many days have these properties been on the market on a median basis? 39 days and counting, 39 days and counting. Now pendings, these are the properties that were listed and they're currently under contract waiting to transact. Just over 930 pending rentals, 930 pending rentals. Properties that are pending and waiting to transact, the median price when they went under contract, $2,200 a month, $2,200 a month. And the median price per square foot monthly, $2.04 a square foot per month, $2.04 a square foot per month. And how many days have they been listed as well as under contract? Grand total of 25 days. And then in 2022, how many properties were rented in Palm Beach County? 10,050. What was the median transaction price? $2,350 a month, $2,350 a month. What is that price per square foot? $2.14 a square foot per month, 2.14 per square foot per month. And those places that rented in 2022 took in a grand total of 18 days. So they were put on the market, they went under contract, and they rented in 18 days. But because days on market gauges sentiment, you will see that basically it's taking twice as long to try to rent the place in Palm Beach County in 2023, near the end of the winter buying season, compared to how long it took in all of 2022. So that's a good telltale sign that there's some sort of disconnect occurring between what landlords want or need, because maybe they overpay for their places, and what renters are willing to pay or can pay because of what's changing with our economy. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's look at that. Let's take a look at the spread or the VIG or the premium that landlords are asking versus what they typically were achieving in 2022. Again, 20% is typically where that's a flag, or that's a suggestion that, okay, maybe this landlord's willing to negotiate. And then if you do go in and try to negotiate on a property that's get about 20% premium, typically you're going to try to cut that in half, come in at 10% or so spread or premium. So what is the spread right now on rentals price per month? Per door, about 30% spread, 30% spread. And remember, $3,050 is the median asking price. And in 2022, the median transaction price was $2,350. So it's about a 30% spread. So it seems like the landlord's a little bit too high. And maybe that's contributing to the days on market increasing. Now, what about price per square foot monthly? $2.63 a square foot per month is what's being sought versus the $2.14 a square foot per month, which was achieved on a median basis in Palm Beach County 2022. That's about a 23% spread. So that's not that far out of the ordinary or that outrageous. So it makes me wonder, why is the days on market going up? Does it have to do with the economy? Does it have to do with the fact that there's layoffs? Does it have to do with the fact that a lot of people who basically moved to South Florida from places like New York or California, many of their companies are calling back in the office now. So ideally, or originally, it was going to be, okay, I can live in Miami, I can live in West Palm, I can live in Boca Raton, I can live in Fort Lauderdale, I can live anywhere in Florida, and I can work for a New York firm, or I can work for a California firm. What we're seeing increasingly is that employees are being forced to go into the office 3 days a week. Now, many are saying it's going to turn into 4 days a week, which will effectively be Monday through Thursday, and Friday will always kind of be a hybrid. So you got to wonder why the days on market is going up. And chances are, especially when the pricing is not really that far out of the ordinary, so you got to look for something that's a little bit on the outside. And it just might be the fact that employers are now forcing people to come back into the office. Now, how many places were rented per month in Palm Beach County in 2022? Came out to an average of about 838 per month. That was the rental velocity. How to come up with that? I took the total number of rentals divided by 12, which is 12 months in the year. They gave me the monthly pace. Now, if I take that pace of 838 a month from 2022, I divided what's currently in the market, which is just about 2,500 places. I'm going to come up with 2.9 months of supply, 2.9 months of supply. Equilibrium will be 6 months. Anything greater than 6 months, it will be a tenant or a renter's market. Anything less is a landlord's market. So this is clearly a landlord's market simply based on months of supply. The problem is the days on market is growing, and we are getting near the end of the winter buying season, which again goes from November through April. And as we get closer to the hot and humid days of hurricane season, you're going to see a lot of people don't necessarily want to rent here, especially if you're coming from New York. Chances are you're going to the Hamptons. You're not looking to rent someplace in South Florida and Palm Beach County. So you got to wonder if this is not a market that's teetering, possibly as we go forward into the summer, might actually flip and become more of a renter's market, which would probably be a relief to a lot of tenants. It also might be spell disaster for a lot of investors who may be overpaid. You're seeing interest rates go up. They have adjustable rate mortgages. They might find themselves in a little bit of a pickle. So that's something to watch as we go forward. I want to thank you for tuning into this podcast, this overview of the Palm Beach County condo market. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you're listening to the podcast, you're not actually watching it, we are going to include in the description links to all of the charts that I'm referring to. If you want to watch the podcast, feel free to go to any platform that provides for video, such as Spotify. You can also go to YouTube, where our handle is Condo Vultures TV. Condo Vultures TV. And if you want to ask us a question or make a comment, send an email to inquiry@condovultures.com. That's INQUIRY at condovultures.com. Once again, I'm Peter Zalewski of Condo Vultures. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take care of yourself. Ciao, ciao.